Okay, so let's look at these modes. These 4 buttons here are the 4 mode buttons, okay, and they work clockwise, with the edit, bottom left, being the default PN, fader and pan page, okay. So, working around, the first one is fader and pan, then working around clockwise, the store button is EQ, the learn button is plugins, the exit button is sends, and back to fader and pan again, okay, which is the default mode. Okay, so in this fader and pan mode, the default mode, basically it's for controlling your mixer basics, okay, so the faders are the faders, the pots at the top are the pan pots, like that, and the top row buttons are the mutes, like that, okay. You can reset the pan to 0 by just pressing the pan pots, and it recenters them exactly to 0, okay. The bottom row of buttons here is the channel select button, okay, whichever one is highlighted is the channel that's selected in Logic. Now this upper row of buttons are mute by default, as I said, but they also act as solo if you use the upper shift button. These 2 buttons here are shift buttons, so hold down the upper shift button, and now I'm going to solo channel 2. Okay, so channel 2, as you can see in Logic here, is soloed, and all the other channels that are now muted because this one is soloed, they're all flashing as they do in Logic to show that something is soloed, and the one that isn't flashing is the one that's soloed. Alright? So upper shift and unsolo. Okay. Okay, so that's the basics of the fader and pan mode. I won't get into that. There are other parameters that you can do, like activating the automation mode, and there are other controls as well, but we'll come to those later. We just want to get the basic modes now, okay? So that's fader and pan mode. Now, if you press the fader and pan mode button, the edit button, a second time, you get PM with a dot, okay? And that's the same for all the mode buttons, okay? So fader and pan the first time, you get this display PM, the second time you get PM with a dot. And what that is each mode button has 2 presses, the second one followed by a dot, okay? And the first press is channel view, and the second press is, the first press is mixer view, and the second press is channel view. Mixer view, channel view, mixer view, channel view, mixer view, channel view. Okay, and the difference is mixer view means that the pots along the top, generally it means that the pots along the top are controlling, like in mixer view, a parameter per channel. If you go into channel view, any active pots along the top are controlling parameters for only the selected channel, okay, but we'll explain more about that as we get further into the other modes, okay. So basically, in the first press of the edit button, the fader pan mode button, you're into fader pan mixer view, which means that the pan pots are controlling the pan for each channel. Press it a second time and there's only one. We're into fader and pan mode channel view now for the selected channel only, and therefore there's only one lamp lit, which is the pan, because we're only looking at controls for just the one channel. It only has one pan. Okay, but as I say, more on that as we get into the other modes. It'll become more clear. Okay, so that's the fader and pan mode. So anything else for that one? Yeah, I'm going to leave all the little extras till later. Oh yeah, one thing. This channel select light. Okay. Now, I'm in the first bank of 8 channels, and obviously you can see I'm selecting the different channels in the first bank of 8 channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lovely jubbly. Okay, so the lamp matches the highlighted channel strip in the mixer. If you ever get lost, like let's say you step up to the next bank, oh, there's suddenly no light. Right, so let's say you have got a channel selected in your mixer here and you want to bring the Behringer bank into play to control the highlighted channel strip in Logic, you just cursor up and down until you find the lit lamp, and that is the highlighted channel strip in Logic. So I know straight away that if I move this fader, this is the channel strip that's highlighted here in Logic. Okay, so if you get lost, just bank step up and down until you see the lit lamp. Okay, and if I was for example to solo that channel strip like that, again, if I step up, these are all flashing. I know something's soloed somewhere, but it isn't. But as all these lights are flashing, it isn't any of these that are soloed. So again, if you get lost for where your soloed channel strip is, you just step up and down until you find the one that isn't flashing, and that's the one that's soloed, and you can unsolo it. Okay. All right. So that's basics. That's how you use the fader and pan mode. Okay. Plus little tips about navigating for the lamps. Let's move on now and look at the EQ mode.